We're back. How you doing? Welcome back. Hey, we're back here again.
Hey.
Welcome to the Seekers Chronicles Paranormal Historians, where the history meets the paranormal. Getting better at that. So,
You
how's
are. You
everybody?
got that down.
How's
It only
everybody
took a
doing?
year.
Yeah, it only took a year for me to get that going.
It only took a year.
Yeah, well, this and it's still not perform. It's okay. You know, but you know, how's everybody doing out there?
Hi,
We got a
everybody.
great guest tonight, and we got some people already in the audience now. So,
Yeah.
Jenny, what I know, Jenny, what
Yes.
did you do this weekend?
I'll tell you what I did. I tell you what I didn't do. My husband had, he had yesterday off, right? Because he works for
Mhm.
the government, and he had Friday off. So he doesn't go back to work till tomorrow. So he had like a mini vacation. So I spent time with him, which means no investigations, because everybody who knows me knows my husband does not do the paranormal. So yeah, we just did family stuff. In fact, we even went out for lunch today and had coffee. It was really nice.
Nice, nice. That's
Yeah,
good. That's good. Yeah,
family time. It's important.
yeah. Well, I had my grandson over the weekend sleep over, um, which is great. I love that when he does. He says, "Pop, pop,
Yeah,
pop, pop." It's like, he touched my face, and
he adores
it's
you.
cool, And then my son's birthday was on
On
Friday,
Friday. Yeah,
and
happy
then he
birthday.
went away. He went out, and then we had my grandson, and then yesterday I took everybody out, and it wasn't my plan for me to take them out, but everybody did. Oh, let's go for lunch for Jesse's birthday. So of course they pick a sushi place, and guess who picked up the bill?
Let me think.
Ah,
Pop pop.
yeah, Papa picked up the bill. Pop is
Oh,
poor.
you're a good guy. You're a good
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, so
So
we both had like family time. That's really good. It like
that's,
renews you a little bit, you
yeah,
know?
well, right here,
Yep, for
love my
sure.
family.
For
Translation.
sure.
So
I love it.
we got a great guest tonight,
We
and
do.
it should be good. Um, Place. It's we're going to talk about. I hear it's very active. So
Hmm.
Jenny, do the honors.
Yeah. I feel like this is so many of our guests. I feel like I know them already because I
Hmm.
see them online. I watch them on YouTube, or I
Hmm.
see them online, or I'm friends with them. And this is the case with this person because our friends Beyond the Badge Paranormal just had an investigation on YouTube, shown on YouTube at this location, and I saw this person, this guest, and I feel like I know him already. But we're gonna meet him officially tonight. He's Dennis Eslock from the Cabin on 360
Hey
in
Dennis, how
Virginia.
you doing?
Hey, everybody. Thanks
Dennis,
for having
hi.
me.
I feel like I know you because I see you in videos on YouTube.
Uh, I do one or two here and there.
Yeah, here and there. Exactly.
But I try not
Exactly.
to overdo it with this space because, just
Oh, so,
chasing people away, it doesn't help.
no, I
Yeah,
get you. Anthony's the eye candy on this show, we always
yeah.
say.
Well, I was always told I got a good radio face.
Oh, stop.
See,
See,
that we
I was
have
told
that in common, my friend. We have that
I got
in
a
Oh,
good
common.
my
radio face.
goodness.
They
Oh,
told me
my
I had
goodness.
a great face for radio. Oh,
Yeah,
well, okay. And then they said, "Can you put a camera on?" I went, "Oh crap."
yeah, I
No,
know.
you do great. You do
I'm
great.
filtered
And you're,
out. I think I got myself looking younger and prettier. I got
oh
filters
my
all over.
gosh,
So see
you're
how
Yeah,
so
skinny I
funny.
am?
well, I've got filters on, and the mask does wonders.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you two are talking about how you look for a long time here. I don't know.
Well, I stopped with the bed, so it's a But
Oh my goodness.
so
So, this is our first episode of the new year, Dennis. We just celebrated our year anniversary, our 52nd
mhm,
episode last week. So
yeah.
you're the new beginning. Thank you for being here.
And
Oh,
the guest last
excellent.
week talked big about you and your
He
place,
did.
Chris Smith.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
One of the Wraith Chasers.
yes, him and
Yep.
Mike. They were on
And
last week,
Mike. Yep.
and they were talking about your place. I was like, hey, he'll be on next week. So
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I've had so the Wraith Chasers have been out 3 or 4 times now. They come out with Haunted Nights Paranormal events. They have a
Mhm.
great time with us. Spirits there seem to love them. The guests seem to love them. That would be Martha, that's my assistant, and lead volunteer,
Oh,
and the get
hi,
her done
Martha.
person.
Yep.
Get her done.
But yeah, Mike and
Yeah,
Chris have a great time out there, and they always seem to get great activity. So,
they love
anytime
it.
Haunted
They,
Nights
yeah.
wants to come back, man, they're always welcome.
Yeah, well, he was just saying, oh, I have to get back there because
Yeah.
he
And we
said,
do have a date, by the way, for next year.
oh, nice, okay. I think that I might have mentioned that,
Ooh.
but he said that your place, they've been, they've been around a long time. He says your place is one of the most haunted places he's been to,
Yep.
and I was like, somebody that's been all these different places from here to Europe, from the United
Yeah,
States to Europe. You know what I mean? That means something.
yeah, that
Yeah.
that carries some weight because they definitely go to some pretty big places, some of the well-known places, and that's where we're struggling is just trying to get the name out there.
Mhm,
There's an old saying: if you build a better mousetrap, the world will be the path to your door, but not if they
mhm.
don't
Yeah.
know you have it. So
Yeah.
we're
Right.
trying to get there. We're trying to get folks to understand that you don't have to have a 150-year-old building. You don't have to have
Mhm,
uh, tremendous amount of death in those buildings. Our buildings are, well, we know the Brick Rancher is somewhere around the 1950s. I found an aerial photograph of it in 1952. That building's still there. And then the log cabin itself was built in 79 and 80. But one of our first slogans when we started doing this is what has history done to the land? Because we can go
mhm,
Oh,
back to 1630 when the Europeans were pushing the natives off the land and just decimating population. And then we had Revolutionary War march through there. We're right on Rochambeau's route. Um, then we had, of course, Civil War came through. We are an actual battlefield. There was a substantial battle that took place right on our land, and that's the battles of Bethesda Church. We sit
mhm.
1/10 of a mile from where a Confederate headquarters was.
Really? That's
Um, and it's just an amazing location given that it has so little notoriety.
mhm.
yeah.
But we're getting
Yeah.
there. We're getting there.
Yeah. I didn't know anything about you guys until you were right across set up right across from us at Gettysburg,
Yep.
Yes.
and I was like, let me check. And then I started talking to you, and this place we got to get you on,
I
and
know.
place the
And
place.
I hope you weren't collateral damage from all the wristband shooting we were doing at each other and
I
around
have
the
the
Yeah,
area.
I had a couple of fly by me pretty close.
I
I
have the
didn't
tote
actually
bag. I
get
use
hit.
it every day for my shopping. And people are like, "What's that?" I'm like,
Excellent.
"Got it in Gettysburg." Yeah, I use it all the time. Thank you.
Yeah,
We looked at you for the whole weekend.
And we had Mike and Chris sitting back behind us. Every now and again, you'd hear the one of their wristbands come flying by us, and then we'd return fire. We had Haunted Knights, Twisted Realms sitting diagonal from us. We'd fire back at them. We just have a
Yeah,
great time. That's what it's all about.
that's
for
it.
sure.
I'm glad I met you guys. So
Yeah,
now
same.
we're gonna have to start shooting at you too. With some, we have to get some
We're gonna
wristbands.
get
Start
Seekers
shooting.
Chronicles fans at you now.
Phew.
We welcome it. Looking in the
Doing
chat
it.
there, I see Shannon Burke. That's one of my
Yep.
volunteers. Of course, we got Martha there. Make sure you shoot them, not me. I'm fragile. I break.
See how he snuck that in, guys?
Yeah, it's like, don't shoot
I love
me.
it.
You
Well,
were
I
hiding
love it.
behind that big sign most of the time. So
I know.
Mama only raised one fool.
yeah.
I'm not it.
Hey, I like that one. I gotta start using that.
I feel like in the South they have these great sayings that I write down all the time. Like,
you,
that's
Yeah.
funny.
you
And,
guys were
I
in
do.
Virginia.
and Mary Beth, yes, we were like third graders. We just had a blast.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That was an awesome time, and always awesome to be at Gettysburg. I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah. Now, are you guys going back to the bash next year?
Oh, of
Of
course,
course.
yeah. I've been
Excellent.
going there since the second bash.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
first one
did.
went to visit. The second one, that's when the next second one, I was like, I got to be part of this, and that's why I've been
Yeah.
going
Try and
since.
hold Anthony back from it. No way. He lives for it. Lives for
Yeah.
Yeah.
it.
Well, we've sponsored every year. We put up a certificate for a free night's investigation for the raffles and drawings every year.
Hmm.
The first 3 years we attended. I took 2 years and didn't attend, and then went back this year, and we'll be back next year. But
Awesome.
it's a
Hopefully
great
try us again.
cause.
Yeah.
And, the fact that it benefits veterans sits perfectly within the heart of what the cabin does.
Hmm.
One of the events that I posted the link for in the chat, twice a year we get together and we get the volunteers from the cabin and then just other people. And we've got a number of cemeteries in the Richmond area that were turn of the century. Um, and they're all African American cemeteries. And up
Huh.
until 5 or 6 years ago, it had probably been 40 years since they had been cleaned up. They had just been primarily abandoned. So up
Yeah.
until I think this is our eighth or ninth year of placing flags at these locations.
Oh,
And it had
nice.
probably been 50 years since those veterans had been honored for either Veterans Day or Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So now we're up to about 700 flags that we do.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I
Really,
love it.
you
I
know,
love it.
yeah, stuff like that. My father's a veteran. Korean War, and he's
Right?
VFW. Used to be a bartender at VFW, and I used to go in there and hang out, and the stories, and just the you know, I thank anybody that that actually served.
Yeah.
So and I do that all the time. So
Yeah,
it's
and
something
you
Okay.
that
take for granted, right, Dennis, that these things are going to be done, sometimes. And I do the same thing. Like I ride my bike a lot. I ride into cemeteries and I'm picking up flags, right, for Revolutionary War veterans. And,
yeah,
and it makes me, it makes me hurt that they're, the flags are broken
yeah,
or on the floor or missing or whatever. And I'm the one doing it. And I'm thinking, you take for granted that there's somebody who does this, but sometimes there isn't. And we kind of
No.
have to step up.
Well, so at the turn of the century with the African American cemeteries, the belief and the thought was the families would take care of them.
Right.
And a lot of times that just wasn't the case. Now,
mhm,
I'm pulling up I got to figure out how I'm going to share this with you.
I love that.
I don't know how to do this, but oh, there we go. There's share. All right, so
Yep.
I should be able to send it right to you, Anthony, and I'm sure you can throw it on screen more than I can. Or, well, wait a minute. I know how the hell I can do this. No, let's go
is
this
that
way.
the picture you
Done
guys
this
put the
before.
flags on?
Um, yes. So that's part of the cleaned up portion of the cemetery. Which, by the way, if you look over my head here, you'll see. So that is an Ohio Vietnam Veterans head license plate. That is
Yeah.
a Virginia Vietnam Veterans license plate. That's my father, and that one's my uncle.
Nice.
And that was a lot of what got us into doing it was these men weren't welcomed home. They were spit at, called baby killers and everything else. And
Hmm.
then I've got a friend of mine that's a Richmond City police officer that took me for a ride one afternoon, and he takes me through this cemetery, and it's just waist high weeds through the biggest majority of the property.
Aw.
And then there's this tree line all the way along the perimeter. And I'm like, this is a pretty small cemetery. And he goes, I don't think you understand. There's 163 acres here. Even in that wood line is all
What?
cemetery. And I went, you got to be kidding me. And then as we like literally are going through it with a machete, chopping 12, 15, 20 foot tall brush, um, we're finding these headstones. But these here are some of the brothers, my Masonic brothers from what's called Widow's Sons. That's our riot association. They came out to help. Two of those men are veterans as well. So to them, it was personal.
Mm-hmm.
And, to me, it's personal as well. We get to go out and we get to do something that gets ignored a lot, and that is honoring those that came before us. And, being able to get out there and do this, one, it's a beautiful day out in the woods. I'm trying to find some of the other pictures, especially some of the ones that show just how bad this area can be. Yeah, like this one will give you a prime example. This one's going to kind of break your heart, Anthony, but I'm going to send it to you the same exact way.
Okay.
But if you look through that brush in this picture, you'll see a headstone stuck in the middle.
Oh, no.
But it has an American flag placed by it. So that soldier was called out by name. Every year when I do this, I do the presentation at the beginning. And I pull up a quote from years and years ago that says, in this life, every man will die two deaths. One, when this mortal body dies, and two, when his name is no longer said. So I took it as a personal challenge to never let those soldiers die that second death.
Mm-hmm.
So my request to all the volunteers is please take a knee, call that soldier out by his name, rank, theater of war, thank him for his service, and then give him a new flag.
Yep.
When we first started doing it, it was myself and Ryan, my co-founder, for my investigative team, which is Commonwealth Researchers of the Paranormal, and I was buying the flags out of pocket. But this gives you a prime example of what it looks like.
Look at that.
And they're slowly making moves to get it cleaned up with groups of volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about getting into this part. So I would have sent the pictures ahead of time.
No, I mean, this is a really important thing to talk about because I agree with you. And, and when I go, I do address each one and I say, I see you had a son, if I see that there's a son next to him, that kind of thing. I try to address, and Mary Beth in our audience just said the same thing. I agree with you. I think it's really important to address them, to thank them. As I'm fixing the flag, I say, I'm fixing this for you because I respect you and I thank you for your service. It's so important. And that looks like a forest that it's in the middle of. That doesn't look like a cemetery.
That's pretty much what it is.
That's heartbreaking.
It's a shame that these men get so disrespected and they fought for the country. And I just don't understand how, the soldiers or how they get neglected when they come back. I just don't understand that,
Yeah, there's some fantastic stories too out of this cemetery. But you mentioned, I see you have a son. I have 3 generations of headstones side by side in one area that we found. And it just, like that one just leveled me. There were 3 generations laid to rest side by side, and they're in this wooded area. My first visit there to 10, 11 years ago, the worst thing I saw was a headstone about 8 feet in the air where a tree had grown up right beside the headstone and then toppled and took the root ball, and the headstone had lifted up with the root ball.
Wow.
And, it just, it broke my heart to see things like that. But, Mary Beth mentions that some of theirs go back to the early 1800s.
Yeah.
The earliest one that I've found here is Captain William A. Hankins. And he was from the Spanish-American War. And he was one of 7 men of color to hold the rank of captain in the entire United States Army during this Spanish-American War. And he is a true hero. His company, which was the 58th Volunteers, had 53 men. They were sent in to take an enemy outpost. They went to the Philippines. So their first thing is they muster in Florida. They then are sent to the Philippines. But while they're in Florida, they went out to dinner and they were told, you'll have to find somewhere else to eat. We don't serve your kind here.
Oh my goodness.
Huh.
So these men go off to the Philippines and they're told, we need you to take this enemy outpost. And 3 white-led white companies had already retreated from that post. So he takes up post at 2 a.m., fires first shots at daybreak, ends up taking that outer outpost, and then is instructed to take the inner. They did so at the cost of 3 times their ranks, and enemy combatants were killed, and he lost 1 man. And they were able to raise the Stars and Stripes. Now, the significant part to that is the 3 white-led white companies retreated, left their horses, munitions, everything behind because of injuries and death amongst their ranks, and he only lost 1 man to do it. But you don't see a monument to him. You don't see a statue anywhere.
Right.
We don't have Captain William A. Hankins Memorial Day. There's nothing.
Right.
And sitting out in the middle of the woods is his headstone, overgrown. When we first started going out there, it was knee high or worse in the weeds. So it brought everything to light to me that these men need this honor. They need their name
Yes.
called out. They need to be respected. So Ryan and I started doing this just by ourselves. And then as it built and as we were able to get more and more push, we were getting more and more people showing up. And our last adventure out there, and I'm trying to see if I can find one of the photographs. Oh, where's that share button again? I told you I'm not real good at this.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
You're
how
doing
do I
great.
share this?
I mean, I know this is a side conversation, but I think it's such an important one. So I don't like to think of it as a side one. I think this is probably the most important conversation we can have, right?
Not even a side. This is part of history.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is
Man.
the most important conversation we can have. And I wonder, Dennis, if it is, I know it's not a monument, but like you said in your quote, it's something, to say their names out loud and to continue to say them out loud and to continue to tell their story.
Yeah, and, you'll see in these next couple of pictures that I've just submitted to Anthoiny, you'll see that we actually had soldiers out there that are active duty. They're AIT soldiers. So these are young men and women that are 18, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
And they're, as you can imagine, they're all races, creeds, religions, beliefs, backgrounds. But the one thing they have in common is the same thing that myself and any of the veterans that are listening to this, they signed a contract and wrote a check to this country up to and equal to the value of their own life. They deserve this respect. So that's what we do. So we got these soldiers out. We had 46 soldiers join us this past time.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I was standing up there like a big baby crying when I watched this line of soldiers walking towards us coming off the buses. I'm
I
like,
couldn't
this
do
is
it.
just
I
amazing.
would be bawling. Yeah.
That
I'm
is
tearing up thinking about it.
the respect. That's today. A lot of people don't respect what the soldiers. I think I came from a family that was so that I had a family member fight World War One, Two, Korean War, Vietnam, and you grow up around these soldiers, and then you see like my father had the when every time there's a loud bang, he would jump under the table or jump
Oh
down
my
to the floor.
goodness.
Yeah, so you see the what they came back to, and there was nobody there to help them. Our government did not help these
Yeah.
soldiers.
But
So
in general,
it goes. So, but that shows it happened back then too.
Yeah.
It's not a
Oh,
new
yeah.
thing. It happened back then too. They forgot these
That's
soldiers, and especially
right.
the black troops and everything. they forgot them altogether.
Yeah.
So
Well, one of the saddest stories about the cemeteries that we take care of, the largest cemetery that we deal with is called Evergreen Cemetery. And it has one mausoleum on it, and it's the Braxton family mausoleum. And somewhere in the early 80s, somebody breached the mausoleum.
Oh no.
There were 6 burials in the mausoleum. They dragged them out and they lit one of the bodies on fire right outside the
oh
mausoleum.
man,
So, it has since been sealed back up. Somebody went in with cinder block, rebar, mortared it back up, closed it back up. So that is protected. Ryan Jones, like he said there, Evergreen Cemetery is crazy. It's 163 acres between it, East End Cemetery, and there are 2 pauper cemeteries in between. And this is all just one huge expanse of land. There's no dividing line between them. And as far as I'm concerned, when we're on property and we're out there honoring our soldiers, there is no color, just greed.
that's right.
Yeah.
And,
Just
you
human
know,
beings. Human
yeah,
beings. And in general with what we do, right? With the paranormal, that has to be to me, that has to be the forefront.
oh,
Like
it
that
has to be.
humanity. Humanity is my word when I investigate. And that's what I keep in my heart. I keep it in my head, humanity. And we are honoring not just our veterans, but our dead, in
Yeah,
general.
exactly. Yeah, and here's a secret. If I'm investigating the cabin, or if I'm investigating Moundsville Penitentiary or Ohio State Reformatory or St. Albans Sanatorium, I'm not checking an ID card. I'm not asking if I'm talking to a black spirit or a Chinese spirit or a Mexican spirit. I don't
Exactly.
care. I'm going to talk to anybody there that wants to talk back to me, and I'm going to learn their story, and I'm going to try to benefit them however I can. And, once we're on that side of the veil, I don't think there is any defining, there's no race, there's no color, there's no anything except you were once a human.
Right.
And
Right.
that's all that matters. And going out to the cemeteries and honoring these veterans, the only thing I see is that green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. If we could get the rest of our damn living world to go along with that same theory, I think we'd be a much happier place.
We
Yeah.
certainly would.
The-
We
There's
certainly
a
would. And
cemetery by me it's a very large cemetery, has all the different it's Cypress Hill Cemetery, has a bunch of different historic Fox sisters and everything there. But part of the cemetery has where the soldiers are buried and stuff, and it goes back from the Civil War to the Vietnam War. But one part of this one there's a line of stones that when you drive up, you see them there, and I always visit them. It's 12 of them, 12 stones together, and it says unknown soldiers.
oh,
And to me, that really bothers me because you know, I mean, it bothers me because of that. They're unknown. Their family doesn't know where they were, or and they're for
Exactly.
World War II. And every time, when I go over there and I say a prayer for them, or I'll put something down. I'll put flags down also, and it just bothers me that the unknown. I call them when I used to go to the cemetery because I do go to the cemetery a lot, and I used to call them the unknown 12 because there's 12 stones in the line. So that's to me that's very
oh,
sad, and you know,
yeah. Because your
but
name matters, right? Like it matters.
It does. It
yeah,
does.
It
And
your
does.
life matters.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and that's the sad part about so many of the Civil War graves. Like we've got several national cemeteries here in Richmond that are based on Civil War. And
Yeah.
you will find the marker will say Pennsylvania 12 unknown, New Jersey 18 unknown, whatever. And,
Mhm.
you know, that's just what's there. That's the best they knew what to do with. These young men didn't have a pocket letter or carry an identification card or anything. They were just dead on the
Right.
battlefield.
Yeah.
So, they don't know who to honor. And, you know, at least the ones that, now, don't get me wrong, there are some at Evergreen and there are some at the other cemetery that we service called Woodland. We don't know where those burials actually are. We have the headstones, but when the last owner of these properties was going bankrupt, these headstones came in, they're VA headstones. We used to have what was called the stack, and it was behind the chapel at Woodland, and it was 52, I think, headstones that were all military, and they're just
Right.
stacked up back there. Well, now they worked with a young man that was working towards his Eagle Scout badge, and he created an area on the front that we now call the Hill of Heroes. Dressed it
Oh,
up beautifully. They placed all those stones that were back there, put them in white rock, and they now get honored. But over at Evergreen Cemetery, we have 5 that I think it was 6 or 7 years ago. Um, oh, what the hell is it? Um, Wounded Warriors came in and helped
Mhm.
do some cleanup.
oh,
Well,
nice.
during their cleanup, they find these 5 headstones under somebody's household trash that they had gone out and just illegally dumped. So they pulled these headstones out, set them aside so they can now be honored. Um, but it's kind of crazy the way that these properties have been disrespected. And, there's a gentleman named Marvin that purchased Evergreen or Woodland Cemetery. It's 38 acres. He purchased it just to bring it back to its place of dignity and beauty. And that's where you see those soldiers on part of, anyway, where it looks all clean and mowed behind them.
Mhm.
Right.
But, he's working very hard to get that done. Evergreen Cemetery, East End Cemetery, they have a small volunteer corps, but they can always use more help. So we do everything that we can to help them and push out when they have work days. We put it out there and just hope for the best.
Well, you're doing great work. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's an
And I
honor
think
to
the
do it.
best thing we can do is just keep talking about it like we are right now. What to anyone who will listen, like you said.
Yeah, it's an honor to do it, and I know I've got at least 3 or 4 in the chat that go out and back me up in doing it. Somewhere in there, Ryan Jones was commenting. He was the one out there helping me on first year, and like
Wow.
I've been out there when we first started doing it, and people are like, "Why the hell are you doing this?" And I'm like, "Because it's got to be done." But we were out there going from daylight to dark. I remember being out there with a headlight on, trying to find
Yeah.
headstones, and
That's a
people
It's
skill.
just
work.
thought we were crazy.
It's heavy work.
Yeah.
And it's thank you,
Tombstone's up.
Ryan, for your help.
Yeah.
But
We'll give him a shout
I'm
out for
just
that.
looking at that picture that you sent me,
yeah,
and
that's the stack.
that is wow.
Exactly.
And if you'll notice in the forefront of that image, there's a broken headstone there for Benjamin Henry Bookers.
Yes, I see that.
Um, you'll see,
U.S. Army
yeah,
career.
Yep.
but they didn't
Oh,
know where these
that
men were
picture is
buried.
chilling.
That's man.
But that's why we called it the stack.
How
There's a few brass plaques laying at the bottom of that stack as well. But they didn't know where those soldiers were buried, so they stacked them up behind the chapel, um, trying to find their proper burial location. Where is that soldier at? Well, as it turns out, some of these soldiers may be in a town about 45 miles away in
Right.
Amelia Veteran Cemetery,
Mm.
but they can't find all the records. So they took these headstones, they made an area up on kind of a little hillside, um, undercut the topsoil, laid some white stone down, embedded these headstones in that white stone, and
Hmm.
they each get their own flag every year, twice a year.
That's the Hill of Heroes you mentioned.
It is.
I love it. I love that Hill of Heroes. That has such a nice ring to it.
Yeah, all these stones. There's a black stone here too.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
black stone that's standing up right in the middle was not a military headstone, but they're quite heavy.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
So
Yeah.
we didn't move it. Once the young man that was working for his Eagle Scout badge got everything approved, he was able to get some pretty beefy guys in there to back him up. And
Yeah.
Nice.
they had about 24 people out there that were helping move headstones. But I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a really cool moment that brought all of this together for me and made it all worthwhile was watching this last rotation that we did. I had 2 drill sergeants brought their companies out, and both of these drill sergeants stood up at the Hill of Heroes, called out a soldier, thanked them for their service, placed a new flag, and then turned their back to their companies and looked at me, and it was one of these. How do
Oh
you do
yeah.
this shit every year? But you can see them wiping the beginning of tears away. Of course, you know, a drill sergeant can't show that in front of their company.
Of
But
course.
Yeah.
his question to me was, how the hell do you do this every year? It's got to be done.
Is that the
Yeah.
drill sergeant in the pictures here?
One of them, yes.
Let me check at that.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Oh my goodness. Look at that.
Now, that was at the beginning. I open the service every time. I open our event every time by playing taps. And I place a flag on my tailgate at the end of my truck. And that's our salute point.
What a
This was
what a
only one
beautiful.
company off camera. Left from there was the other company that was in attendance with us.
That's
So,
a huge place, but
yeah, there
beautiful.
we
The
go.
trees and everything. That is a lovely place.
Yeah. Now, this gentleman that you see forefront of that picture, that's my buddy Chris Johnson. And what you see on the ground in front of him is a 1793 signal cannon.
Oh my
I could
goodness.
not get a 21 gun salute out there. So instead, he came out with that. He
Oh,
has documented history on this one and its sister cannon. Um, both are 1793. They were both on United States Navy vessels. And
wow.
he fires 3-round burst for us in lieu of a
Right.
21 gun salute. And he
Wow.
allows the soldiers to come up and pull the cord to pop that. So that's pretty moving.
Yeah. I
Wow.
mean, wow. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
This is,
It's come a long way from me and Ryan looking like 2 clowns out there bumbling through the woods. I'll tell you that.
Right. Right.
um,
Wow.
this
This
is,
is amazing. I'm so glad
mm,
that you shared these photos.
And
This is great. I'm
uh,
so glad we talked about this.
if they go over to my Facebook page, and I know Ryan C. Jones on his Facebook page, he's got a ton of pictures. But you'll get a really good idea of just what it looks like when we go out and do this, and just how moving it is. This year, one of the coolest things that I got to do with it, one of the drill sergeants that was with us, his wife and 2 small children came out with us, and I took a knee with both of his uh, children and placed a flag. And watching those 2, I want to say like 4 and 6, 5 and 6, 7-year-old kids, watching them um,
Oh,
call out a soldier. You know, I'm telling them what to say. They call them out. They thank them for their service. And then watching them step back and render a salute just kicked me right in the feels.
Of course.
I'm like, that's pretty cool.
It's very cool because it's the next generation keeping their memory alive, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that, their father is out there, a drill sergeant. He's out there, from before sun up to after sundown. I remember when I went in, we were reminded that your drill sergeant wakes you up and he puts you to bed. He gets less sleep than you do. Give
Right.
him some slack. But yeah, Mary, it wasn't that we weren't allowed to shoot. I could not find a honor guard that would come out and give us 21 gun salute.
I'll tell you
I
what,
can't
I
find a
think what you
bugler
found is
either.
pretty
But
special.
yeah, I think I did pretty well by getting the signal cannon out there. Chris has brought it out
Yeah,
for us a few times, and it's always been amazing.
super cool. We love that. We love that historical stuff too on this show. So we love to hear about that stuff.
Yeah. That's
Cool. We didn't
wow.
even start talking about the cabin. This is like
Yeah.
amazing.
You know.
Hey,
I love it.
history of the military, the cabin hauntings, all of it has to go hand in hand. You have to be a
Of
history
course.
fanatic to be into the paranormal. And
Mhm.
that's part of what drew me to
100%.
the cabin so much. Once we discovered how much activity was there, then it became the search,
Mhm.
the history. And one of our friends, John, came out one day and he's like, "Hey, man, can I relic hunt out here?" And we're like, "I don't give a shit. What do you think you're going to find?" And he's like, "Well, relics. Like, you don't
Yeah.
know what took place here?" And we're like, "Not yet." What?
Mhm.
And he's like, "Dude, you're on the battlefields for the battles of Bethesda Church." He's like,
Mhm.
"There's over 2,000 men died on this land or very close to it."
Wow.
And then it became, okay, we need to figure this all out. Mary Beth, we're out in Virginia. So Minnesota is, I don't
Pretty
know,
far.
15, 16-hour drive.
Yeah.
Airline. But
Airplanes. We'll pick you up, Mary Beth.
16-hour
No,
ride.
sure.
You do drive through.
So so how did this begin? Let's go back to the beginning for those of you who don't know you, who haven't seen 100 of your YouTube videos like I have. Right? I feel like I know you. It's like when you feel like you know your people on TV, right? And they're like, they don't know you. How did you get involved, first of all, were you always involved in history? Were you always interested in history? Or how did you get involved in the paranormal? We always ask, I know it's this basic question, but people want to know, we want to get to know you. So how did you
sure.
get involved in both?
Um, so history, well, even before my love of history, I was into the paranormal. I just didn't realize how much I would be in it. Um, when I was 7 years old, my grandfather passed away. Now, I was the younger brother. I had an older brother 4 years older than me that slept bottom bunk. I slept top bunk. But I remember one night when I was 7, my granddaddy looked me right in the eyes in the while I'm in top bunk in bed, woke me up, told me goodbye, told me he loved me, and he'd see me later. And I went, "Oh, okay, granddaddy. Well, I didn't even know you guys had come up. They lived about two and a
Right.
half hours away, him and grandmother." I said, "But I
Mhm.
guess I'll see you in the morning. Good night." And I rolled back over and went back to sleep. A little while later, mom came in, turned on the light in the bedroom, and said, "You boys need to get your asses up. We got to go." Huh? What? Is this because granddaddy left? I didn't even know when they came. I didn't know they were coming up. When did they come up? And mom at this point is going, "What?" I said, "Well, granddaddy was here just a little bit ago, woke me up, told me goodbye, and he loved me and he'd see me later." And she's like, "You just need to get your ass out of bed." Granddaddy had had a massive heart attack a couple hours earlier and passed
Mm.
away. So that was my first experience with spirit at 7.
Oh,
Um,
that's a biggie.
then
Mhm.
somewhere around 10 or 11, 12 years old, I had two cousins that were right in my age bracket. Fred was 3 months older than me. Ron was 2 years older. And sorry if that one hit me. We just buried Ron
It's okay.
8 weeks ago. Uh,
Mhm.
but the three of us were thick as thieves, but we had heard somewhere if you put a recorder out in the cemetery, you can hear the dead. We're like, oh, that would be so cool. We got to try this. Well, they had a big cemetery not far from their house. So we sneak out there in the middle of the night. And if you remember the old shoulder radio that, you had to kind of walk like cavemen carrying
Oh
a
yeah.
rock because it has like
Boombox.
Boombox,
47.
yeah.
Yeah, the boom box.
Yeah, yeah,
It's got 47 D cell batteries.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I had gotten one of those for Christmas. We towed it out in the cemetery. We set it up on a rock. We hit record, and we go a couple of 100 feet away. And of course, I'm watching it. Nobody better steal my radio. Nobody better steal my box. And we're just watching it. We don't hear anything. But we went out and gathered it back up a little.
Oh,
Oh boy.
what just happened? There we go. He's there.
He's back.
I got him.
Um,
What?
Wow.
well, I got too close to the door and fell out.
Oh, okay. Because we have had paranormal activity on the show before. Okay.
But yeah, we went out and picked my boom box up, and we go back and replay it, and we hear somebody whistling a tune, and we're like, we weren't whistling. We didn't see anybody else out there. It's 10:30 at night, so we go to their dad, who was a musician. He had actually played in Nashville at one point in time, and we're like, "Do you know this?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's a tune from like the 1940s. Where'd you,
Oh,
who was whistling that?" Of course, now we got our dumbasses in trouble because we got to tell him we snuck out to go to the
right.
cemetery in the middle
We're
of the
in the
night.
cemetery.
But yeah, we got in trouble for that. But that was my first time running what turns out modern day we call an EVP. Back then, we didn't know what to call it. We just said we're recording the dead.
Yeah.
So that was when I was like 10 or 12. And then when I was 16, my brother chose to take his own life. So as I'm walking to the quarter market one afternoon, this is May 18th, 1986, I felt his presence. I heard his voice. "I love you, brother. I'll always have your back." What the hell? I know he's here. I don't see him anywhere. Well, 9 o'clock that night, police come and bang on our door and let us know that my brother had been found that afternoon. He had hanged himself. So that starts me on how did Granddaddy come to me?
Right.
How did we catch this whistling in a cemetery? How did my brother come to me? How did I know these things? What is the methodology for them to come from that side to talk to us on this side? So it started me on this path that I've been on ever since. I don't know that I have any more answers now than I had then. But what I do know is if there is a possibility that when this meat suit dies, I get to come back and I'm able to haunt friends, there's a lot of people in trouble because I got a list.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
big
yeah.
one.
Yep. I got one of those too.
We have
So-
code words, Anthony and I. We have code words, so we know it's ourselves. We know it's each other.
And
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Cannoli.
Yeah.
Well, watch this. For my volunteers, type in chat, what is the one word you expect to hear from me
I
when you
love
start
it.
asking me?
I love it. Okay. All
But
right.
yeah, so what brought about the cabin? Ryan Jones and I had been playing in the paranormal, and he was a member of another team at that point called All Seeing Paranormal Society. And his family, his grandfather actually built the cabin, bought that land in 1978, and built the cabin to be a model home for log cabin sales. So it and the Brick Rancher it's all one part and parcel. There's no division on it. It's just the two buildings and 7.2 acres. But they're sitting empty. So he had All Seeing Paranormal Society. Mine is bicycle, by the way. I'm surprised. Evidently, my guys have all left in chat. What kind of crap is
Bicycle.
this?
I like that. I like it.
But yeah, it was. They had gone out to the Brick Rancher and investigated, and they told Ryan, "Hey, we had to leave, man. We were supposed to stay there much later, but we had to leave." Like one of the investigators heard growling in the basement. One of the others got scratched. Um,
Jeez.
they just felt that it was very unsafe, so they left the property. So it took about a year for Ryan to convince me to go out because I'm thinking this story just doesn't make sense. Why is this little brick rancher and this log cabin that aren't that old, why are they that active? It doesn't make sense. So we went out. He finally gets me to go out there. And the idea at this point, we're just going to use it as a training ground. We'll see what investigators work better together. We'll see um, what techniques work better and all of those things. But what we ended up having happen to us that day kind of left us a little stunned. We were in the basement in the Brick Rancher, and there was just this loud, ear piercing scream, female scream that just echoed through the house. And it was so loud that it wasn't one of those where you look at each other and go, "Did you hear that?" It was a, "What the hell was that?"
Right.
And now we're on the run. We're running around the building. We're looking to see was there a car crash outside because we sit right on State Route 360. It's a 4-lane divided road. Um, there's a neighbor a tenth of a mile away from us to the east. There's a neighbor a tenth of a mile to the west, and that's it. But you know, once
Yeah.
we
But
walked
you did
around
your
the
due
properties,
diligence. Right.
once we walked around the property and realized there's nothing, we're kind of going, that echoed through the house, bro. That was in the building with us. We need to investigate. But my first pickup on that property, so I'm a medium and sensitive as well.
Yes.
As soon as I walked in that front door, I made it 3 steps, stopped dead in my tracks. And I looked at Ryan, and my first statement to him was, "Ryan, there's something in this house that's not human. It never has been. This place is effed up."
Mm.
I just felt that energy that I hadn't felt before. I had dealt with enough male or a human spirit to understand how that felt, but this one just didn't feel like any of that I had ever dealt with.
Like
So,
immediately like that. Like
oh
immediately
yeah,
as soon as you
three
walked in.
steps,
Wow.
3 steps
Wow.
in the door.
Wow.
It just had that overwhelming heaviness and that ick. And I didn't know at that time what it was, but I knew it wasn't human. So what I think now, through a lot of research, through a lot of investigation, through a lot of studies, I think honestly what's there, and I'm not going to, for lack of better terms, paganize the place and go, "Oh, it's a
Right.
demon, it's a demon."
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think it is.
I love that's a verb.
Paganize? Yeah.
Yeah. I
Uh,
love it.
but I think what is actually there is an elemental spirit. So what we do
Okay.
know is back into the 1630s when the Europeans were starting to move into that area, you had any one of 3 or 4 different tribes in there, the Chickahominy, Mattaponi, Pamunkey, or Powhatan. Now they all fell under Powhatan rule as part of the Powhatan Nation. And the Powhatan Nation, by folklore, is their shamans would summon forth an elemental spirit of the earth that was to do good for the tribe, help with bountiful harvest, help with health, um, you know, rain when it was needed, and so forth. Well, then there became some infighting amongst the tribes, and one of them is that one of the theories is that the Pukwudgie, the elemental that they brought forth, was being used against the other tribes to do ill will against them.
Mm.
That angered the Pukwudgie and then turned it against humanity. So that's the myth, lore, and legend of the Pukwudgie as we know it. So I think
Right.
what's there is a Pukwudgie. It's just an elemental
And
spirit that was brought
yeah,
forward.
Mhm.
an angry one. Right.
Yes, very much so.
And which makes sense. I mean, hey, I'd be hungry too. Um,
Yeah, but
yeah.
now again, it goes right back to I haven't been able to get him to show me an ID card, so I don't know who or what it
Yeah.
is. But
I love that you say that, because really in the end, I mean, we don't
yeah,
have the answers,
If
you
if
know,
you
and
have
anyone who comes here and says they do, I'm very skeptical, you
if
know.
you have pictures of the location, if you want to send me like pictures of inside, I might be able to draw you pictures. Something what might come across.
Are
You
you
know,
getting something
I
in
could
your
do a
head,
picture.
Anthony, right now?
Yeah, yeah. When you
I
said
can
Puck,
see, I can always tell.
I seen when we before you said Puckwudgie, when you know that I felt something with hair. So I'm not gonna.
well,
But you said Puckwudgie, and I didn't say that afterwards. So what I seen doesn't matter.
all
But
right.
Wow.
So this one's going to be fun. I'm going to send this to you from my phone.
okay,
Okay.
We had a young lady that came out and joined us for one of our public investigations, and her dad had done these public investigations for quite a while. She was 17 at the time, joined us for this one. Um, let me see if I can find. Here we go. Where'd you go? There you are. So they came out and joined us. Um, and at that time, it was her dad, Ryan, one of my previous investigators named John, and Bill Hartley from Ghosts of Shepherdstown.
Uh-huh.
mhm.
Now, they all went to the basement. She got freaked out because she said this thing was standing at the backside of the steps looking at her. And it was freaking her out. Excuse me.
I'm looking at the picture right
Um,
now.
her dad said that she wouldn't respond to him calling her name or anything else. I'm going to send you another one, so
Really?
hang tight to that. But Ryan realized that something was wrong. So he,
Yes.
in turn, Ryan, um, takes her out of the building.
Smart.
Mhm.
Um, I came over and did a prayer and blessing session with her, grounding session as well.
Okay.
Um, then 2 weeks later, she brought us this pencil drawing that I just sent to Anthony. Now,
Oh,
she said,
nice.
I want you to understand what I saw and why I was so freaked out. This thing was on the
Well,
backside of the steps just staring at me.
oh
Now,
my goodness. And it's
her,
small, right? Like it's
well,
small, like you would
It's
think.
it's
big.
4 steps up.
Um, Anthony, that
When
looks like something you would draw. Is that what you sort of had in your head, Anthony?
when I had in my head, it
You
looked
said
more like
hairy, right? Hair?
to me it looked like a raccoon type of creature,
Oh,
and to me that kind of looks similar to what might be
hairy.
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I
well,
said, I don't like saying it after the fact.
No, I mean, we trust you. I trust you.
well,
Um,
she said
that's
she drew it that way because she couldn't tell if it was fur, scales, or feathers. She said
right.
it wasn't smooth like skin, but she drew that image and said, "This is what I saw on the backside of the steps." Anthony, are you able to zoom in on that, on the
That
face especially?
No,
no,
unfortunately.
no,
But
I
I can
can't.
see
That's
what you
the only
mean.
thing.
It's just texture, right? Like it's not, you don't know if
Right,
it's fur
I seen
or
fur. I seen
right.
fur.
yeah.
So
So
here's the key parts I want you to notice. Pay attention to the big nose, the big eyes, and like the
mhm,
tufts
Yes.
coming off the back of the head.
Yes.
Now, Anthony, can you share that thermal image I sent you as well?
yeah.
So the next image is a thermal that a team captured 6 weeks later. And
Oh
look at the
my
bottom right corner of that.
goodness.
And that's in the bottom right corner is what you're paying attention to.
Yep.
And
I
tell
see
me
it right
how
away.
much those look alike.
Yeah,
Now
the
the
shape of the head is exactly the same.
mhm.
Yeah.
Now the cinder block column is what's being highlighted there at 59.1 degrees.
Right.
Yeah.
But that
So
down in the on the right corner, that
yeah,
shape is so distinctive.
yeah. So I have no idea what it is.
And the
Um,
eyes.
I'm
Oh,
inclined to believe it is a puckwudgie. I'm inclined to believe it's an elemental.
yeah.
Uh, the only thing that I don't think it has much physical ability to harm people, but it will play in your mind, and that's its game.
Oh,
Mhm.
Now, I did an EVP session. So for those that don't know the history on the building, the Brick Rancher, um, I've got to be careful how I word this because I don't know what all platforms you go onto, and some of them will um, penalize you. But
Yeah.
on the morning of Friday, October 4th, 1979, the family that lived in the Brick Rancher was the Elliott family. Mom and dad, 17-year-old Randy Lynn Elliott and 12-year-old Melissa Carol Elliott. On that morning between 7:30 a.m. when mom and dad left for work and he was seen carrying something into the woods at 10:30, uh, he had raped and murdered his 12-year-old half-sister with two .38 caliber rounds in her chest. That young lady is still in the house. I give you my absolute word on that.
Yeah.
But one of the EVP questions that I asked one night was, "Can you tell me why you, you know, are you the dark entity that caused him to do this to his own half sister?" And there was a Class A EVP. It could have been me responding. It was that loud, but it was a yes,
Oh, wow.
just plain as day. Well,
Talk about chills down your
Wow.
spine. Wow.
then a couple of months later, there was a team. Twisted Paranormal Society has a episode or a series on Paraflix. It's called The
Yes.
Twisted
Mhm.
Realm. They
Mhm.
came
Yep.
out and investigated there. Well, Tana asked the question, why did you do that? Why did you cause him to harm his own little sister? And that same exact deep, gruff voice responded back, the violence. And they
Oh, my
captured
goodness.
that Class A. So whatever's there thrives on the violence. It thrives on the um, chaos. It thrives on pain. If it can manifest itself, which it has been seen several times, um, it enjoys the chaos that ensues afterwards because you'll watch every piece of equipment in the building light up.
Wow.
It's absolutely insane. And I've had people ask, well, why don't you do a blessing on it? Why don't you sage the house?
Yeah.
Why don't you bring in an exorcist? And my question to them is always, if you went to a library that had no books, what good is the library?
Right.
These are my books. The spirits that are there are going to tell me in time what's on that side.
Right.
What can I look forward to when this meat suit dies? What do I get to look forward to?
Right.
And that's why I am not doing cleansings and blessings and crossings and all of that.
Mhm.
And I've had people go, "Oh, so you're just exploiting them for money." Well, let's look at this.
No.
I lose money every month.
Right.
I seriously, I lose money every month. It costs me four
No,
thousand
nobody's
dollars a
in this
month.
for the money, Dennis.
No,
Nobody is in this for the money. No one
no,
who buys a location is in it for the money.
no.
You can
I
talk to
mean,
so many of our friends who own haunted
Mhm.
locations. That's
yeah.
not why they do it. It's for the research, it's for the experience, it's for the history.
Mhm.
And at this point, it's because the connection I've created with the spirits that are there. Um, the
Yeah, true.
most moving EVP I have ever heard came out of that building. I was standing with a public group for one of our public investigations in Melissa's bedroom. Um, just leaned up against the wall at her windowsill, holding a voice recorder in hand, and I started the EVP. Melissa, are you with us, sweetheart? And there is a young female voice, sounds like she is right beside me, that says, I'm with you.
Oh,
I played it back like 3 times, set the recorder in the windowsill, and excused myself. I had to step outside and, you know, just, I spring a leak.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, again, humanity, the sweet baby
Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, and, we've got people that are like, oh, you just exploit her for the money and this and that and the other. And I'm like, no, I think what you need to understand is every investigation, her name is said with reverence.
Right.
We are We've already cleared an area in the woods. We're going to do a flower garden and a memorial bench back there in her honor.
It's beautiful.
Um, Her room gets fresh flowers. There are gifts constantly brought from investigators given to her. So it's not that we are exploiting the tragic loss of this young lady. It's that we are helping her be memorialized.
Right.
And
You're having a connection with her, like you said,
Mhm.
you're forming that connection with her. And in the end, is it really always your job? You know, people say to me like, "Oh, you talk about crossing over." I say that's not my job.
it's not my job.
Like
I am
that's
not God.
it's not my
Mhm.
job. I don't feel that that's my job.
Yeah. And a lot of times when you try to cross people over, I mean, I've been part of quite a few different groups that try to cross the spirit over and let them go into the next. And not every majority of them don't work. The
Right.
spirit's going to want to
Thank
go.
you, MJB.
You know.
Yeah, and that's um, so I can do crossings. I was called in from another team that there was a historic home that predated Civil War that the local government had purchased the land. They were going to tear down the house. When they first reached out to me, I do remote views, so I described everything that I saw in the house. I have no clue where this house is. All I know is this is what I see. And I saw this little girl in an upstairs window. Um, but I'm like, she's being held there, and I'm not sure by who. And about this time, I hear this old man yelling at me. And
Wow.
during my remote view,
Mhm.
F you, she's mine. And I'm like, oh, hello, we have
Mhm.
a collector.
We have a winner.
I'll
Yeah.
deal with him. Um, and they're like, dude, you got to come join us. We investigated this place once already. We know it's getting torn down in about a month. We're waiting on council to vote, approve the funds to tear it down. You got to come investigate with us. So I went out and investigated. First thing I did was went straight to her. Well, first thing I did was park out back. And as I'm looking up at the house, I just turn and wave. Well, here is the representative for the property and the other team founder both looking at me and look up in the window, and all I hear is, what the hell? You
Wow.
saw her? And I'm like, yeah, you guys saw her too. Little girl was up in the window just waving, like she knew I was there. So I
Mhm.
went up to her room, and as I'm approaching her room, the room she's on the left, and the room just past her at the end of the hallway is the old man that is collecting, for lack of better terms.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
So, Mary Beth, a collector is one that can hold, it's another spirit that is of a more, not negative, but if you're an asshole in life, you're an asshole in death.
Yep.
And that's just all there
I
is to
think we say that every week, Dennis. I
it.
literally think that sentence gets said on our show every single week.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Right,
But
Anthony?
yeah, that that's just the way it is. Just because you have left this earthly plane in this meat suit doesn't mean you get an all new bright and sunshiny
Right.
personality.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
this old man is over there just cussing me because he knows what I'm there for. So as I
Mhm.
approach his doorway, they've got voice recordings going. And I just walked up to his doorway and I laid a line of holy water across his doorway. And I asked my gods and my saints to close this room off. And I put a cross in holy water at the top of the door. And I said, sir, this is now your room. You can't leave. You scream and holler, do all you want, but you cannot leave. So we went through and we did an investigation through there. We ended up, the public came along. I think they had 40 or 50 guests by the end of the night.
Wow.
Wonderful interactions, except for the old man's room. And oh, he was cussing me
He
so
was
bad.
pissed. It's
Uh-huh.
He
like, what'd
was
you do?
bad. But um, into the night, the representative come over to him and he goes, I know they're going to tear this down. What do we do about the spirits that are here? And I went, here's the best I can do. I cannot cross them. I
Right.
am not God. But what I can do is ask my saints and my guides to bring their family forward and ask them to take them home. And
Oh,
to have my saints and my guides show them the light and show them the path home. And he's like, I'm all for it. Can we start
Yeah.
with her and her room? And I went, I'll gladly do that. So we did her room. While I am doing my prayer and I'm asking my saints to come forward, you can hear on the recorder that old man yelling at me, F you, she's mine. And I'm like, no,
What? That's
not
horrible.
anymore. Oh,
Yeah.
it was F bomb after F bomb after F bomb. But
So,
we felt the energy in there go so much lighter when I was done with my prayer session. And even the ones that are kind of skeptic are like, I think she's gone.
oh,
Well,
wow.
council ended up tabling the notion to tear down the house within 30 days. They tabled the vote for one more month. So it gave them another chance to go back in and investigate. So they got to do 2 more investigations after that, just little private investigations. Never got another peep from that little girl. So that
Wow.
felt really good.
Nothing. Like,
But
that's a
there
good
were,
sign.
yeah, but there were about 10 other spirits in that house.
Holy cow.
It had started out, it was an inn, it was a bed and breakfast for a while because it sits behind the courthouse, the county courthouse, and it was a original pre-Civil War courthouse. So it's got hundreds of years of history. So people would travel, and if the tavern and inn on the other side of the courthouse was booked, the family that owned this house would open it up for them.
Oh, okay.
So it had all that history and activity. It was a really cool place.
Yeah.
But that was, so when it comes to can you cross them over, I think you can ask for help to do that,
Right.
but I don't think any one of us are able to.
Yeah.
We can only ask for help from our guides and our saints and our God to make that happen. That's up to them.
To put them
the
in the right
building-
direction to get
Yeah,
where they have to
Okay.
go. Because we could say, okay, you don't belong here. They're like, where do I belong then?
right.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
the other side, yeah, you're right. The other side can direct them to where they have to go. I got
Right.
a question.
And I think that's one of the strongest things that helps me in what I do.
All right, I got the same thing. I belong to that same one. I got.
Okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't see it. What did it
Oh,
say?
clergy. It's my clergy identification.
I have one also.
Yeah.
I
Gotcha.
belong to the same church. I belong
Okay.
to the same one.
So, what was your question, Anthony?
Yeah, how did you come with the name, the cabin on 360? What was that name all about? Why?
It's on Route 3. It's Route 360. It's 4 lanes. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
asking him. We know you know.
I know, but he just said it.
I'm
He just
asking
said
him.
it.
What
He said it.
these women? Every
I was
time
listening 5 minutes ago. He just said it on the show. He said Route 360, right? Has 4
Yeah.
lanes.
So
It's a pretty
we
busy
went with the
highway.
most basic since the property, since that cabin has been there for about 45 years.
I know. He's doing the thing to me. No, it was tonight he said it. He already said it tonight.
Yeah.
I know. You know, we'll tell you later what our code word is. What his F word code word is for me.
Oh, it's that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody that's a local in the area knows it's a, for lack of better terms, kind of a historic waymarker. Hey, if you're going out 360 and you see the cabin, and you're headed towards Tappahannock, if you're going out that way and you get to the cabin there on 360, we're like, well, shit, everybody already knows it as the cabin on 360. We'll just make that as the name of it. So that's why we stuck with that. Now, does it sound, and I had a suggestion, maybe you need to change the name. It kind of sounds like a little, uptown steakhouse or something. Have you thought about changing the name? And I'm like, no. No.
Not at this point.
No,
No.
yeah. I mean,
But
I think it
yeah,
sounds cool. I think it's got a cat ring to it. Like
Yeah,
Anthony was like, "Why do you call it that? I want to know." You know?
yeah.
yeah,
But it's just, Shannon has grown up there her whole life. She's, I won't give her age up, but, you know, it's always just been known as if you're going out and you get past the cabin on 360, just keep going and it's out, blah, blah, blah. It was
yeah,
Perfect.
just a local landmark that everybody out that way knew. So
yeah,
we just left it as that.
yeah.
I
That's
love
the
it.
locals know it as that, so you keep it as that. You know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and it's. I mean, it's interesting, and like I said, it's the place. Like I said, we talked to Mike Smith last week, and
Chris
not
Smith.
Mike,
Chris
Chris
Smith and
Smith.
Mike.
I'm
Yeah.
mixing up
Yeah.
Mike. I forget his last name. Something, and Mike
Gonsalves.
and
Right.
Chris Smith, and they really up, saying how much they had some of their profound experiences there and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, well, I definitely want to definitely go down there and check it out.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to end up going there. And plus, with the history around the land, so the land is probably what's has all the activity, and it just gathers up into the house. I'm assuming, you know.
Um,
You want to
so
talk about the GoFundMe before I know that it's going crazy in the chat? Like, I didn't mean to
yeah.
interrupt you, but
Oh
Oh,
no, you're
we got
fine.
a little bit of time. We got time.
So the GoFundMe that is out there, I hold lease on the property right now. I have one more year, and I don't know if they'll grant me a new lease. I don't know what will become of it. But if I can't take ownership of it, then it's going on the market, which
oh,
that's why I took the lease in the first place, knowing that it was going to put me in financial dire straits.
Mhm.
Um, but our biggest fear is a tenth of a mile away, they just built a brand new school. Well, they're building it now, right on top of the foundation for Bethesda Church, because
oh,
screw history, right?
right.
Um,
Yeah.
there was a 65-acre plot just a mile and a half behind us on what's called Pole Green Road that they just built 30 some houses on. That all had earthworks on it. It was all part of the battle lines at Totopotomoy Church, or Totopotomoy rather. That was leading up to Bethesda Church. There is a brand new high school about 3 miles or less. I think it's only about a mile down the road. They're starting
Oh,
to
wow.
build a new high school with a new elementary behind it. So they're going to be running the utilities through there. This land is going to be highly desired, which means a developer is going to come in. 2 years ago, they had a gentleman that put a contract on it, pending approvals on his special use permits. Um, he wanted to build a softball complex, which means he was going to basically bulldoze everything and put 2 softball fields out there and a lot of parking. And I'm
Ooh,
like, you can't do that shit. That's
no.
just, you're going to put a bulldozer right over top of history, right over top of these potential graves from these young
Mm,
men that fought and died on this land. I can't let that happen. So I stepped up, signed a lease on it. So the
wow.
GoFundMe, there's another major GoFundMe out there right now that's to garner enough for the full purchase price of another
Yes.
popular property.
The
Yeah,
Conjuring House. You can say it.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not asking for the money to buy the whole thing outright. I'm asking for enough to make a 25% deposit. So then Small Business Administration will grant me a loan and work with me to, I will bear the brunt. I will bear the expense of the other three
Right.
quarters of the cost of this thing.
Mhm.
And that's all I'm asking. So I've got $100,000 GoFundMe out there to help me get where I need to be to get a deposit that Small Business
Yeah.
Administration will back me up on.
Yeah.
And then the other
Well,
300,000+ I will owe. I've never been that far in debt in my life.
yeah.
But it's something I'm willing to take on. It saves that history. It saves that land. Now, I'm not just going to rely on the paranormal to back me up on this financially. Um, what I'm relying on, well, thank you very much, Mary Beth. I certainly
Thank you,
appreciate
Mary
it.
Beth.
What I am
Definitely.
going to rely on, once I have ownership of it, American Battlefield Trust, which is one of the largest land protection foundations in the country, is going to, I've already spoken with them. I'm in talks with their attorney who is helping me set up a foundation, helping me set up the 501c charitable organization. They already want to talk to me about helping me set up the historic land easement to protect the land in perpetuity. So it will never
Love it.
be
Love it.
anything
Mhm.
except the battlefield.
I
They're
love to
going
hear
to
it.
help me. They're going to help me put up memorial markers that this is where the battles of Bethesda Church took place. These are the companies, these are the men, these are the regiments that fought and died on this land.
Love it.
Then, in doing that, I also get to maintain a memorial garden and so forth for Melissa. So,
Yes.
those are the plans. That's what that GoFundMe is for. Um, but getting the finances to get the Small Business Administration to pay attention is not that easy. And it's funny you asked that, Mary Beth. I have messaged
Yeah.
the three main local news channels, NBC, CBS, and ABC, and absolute crickets back,
Really?
really.
What about,
It,
do you have anything like in New Jersey? We have something called News 12 New Jersey. It's only New Jersey. And they just did a feature on some haunted locations with some friends of ours. I mean, maybe it's spooky season, I
it,
don't know.
within the
Do you have
past
like a
month,
Virginia,
oh no, we have WTVR, which is NBC 12, Richmond. It's
okay.
our local NBC affiliate. We
Okay.
have
Right.
ABC 6, which is our local affiliate. And I've
Right.
messaged all three of them to see if
Huh.
I can get them to come out and talk to us, and nothing but crickets.
Huh.
Mm.
No, I take that back. That sounds like a really neat story. Send it to so and so. So I sent it to so and so, and she gave me the crickets.
Wow.
um,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
would think at this time of year, like
yeah,
not to exploit you. I'm just saying, like, you may as well
Mhm.
take advantage of it. It's Halloween, right? So
most definitely. And
whatever it
you know,
takes.
I was on Dave Schrader's show, Darkness 60,
Yes.
Mhm.
and we talked about it. And he shared the GoFundMe and talked about the endeavors that we need to do, which is actually where I ended up with the attorney from American Battlefield Trust reaching out to me.
Good.
Um, but American Battlefield Trust, when I spoke with one of their executive directors, said that I would love to help you, but I can't put the first shovel to dirt without the owner's signature. He's like, just
Oh,
because you leased it, I can't work on that. I have to have the owner's
right.
signature. He says, I would love to put ground penetrating radar on that property. I would love to put LIDAR on
Mm.
that property.
Yeah.
I can't do
Oh,
it.
yeah. Oh, that would be amazing.
And here's the
Amazing.
problem.
Have you ever had anything like dogs or anything on the property?
No, and that's
Yeah.
one thing that
You
I'm
can't do it
I'm
without the
trying to
owner.
track down our cadaver dogs that
Yeah,
work this area. Just out of curiosity, it would be a good training area for them.
correct.
And I've got a very good connection with local law enforcement. Um, but I'm going to see if I can get like the cadaver dogs, whoever they use, let them come train the property. Tell me if there's anything. I
Yeah,
suspect, and I've been told that there are battlefield burials there. In the middle of this 7-acre plot of dirt are yucca plants. Now, yuccas are also known as the African pain plant. They're not native to America, but I have this one cluster of about 8 plants on a mound
right.
in the middle of the woods. So we'll find out if they're there eventually. Um, but the goal is to get American Battlefield Trust on board with us. I mean, like I said, they are the largest organization at saving battlefields in the country.
Mm.
Right.
So I want to work with them and see if they can help us get this property protected.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
That's our goal.
That's it.
Sure, for sure. Well, we're going to share this clearly as much as possible, and I'll put it on our Facebook
Mhm.
page as well, the GoFundMe,
I
because it's so
appreciate that.
important. No, I
Yeah, it
mean,
is.
we believe in that, That's why
Keep
we're here
rebuilding.
week in and week out talking about historical properties, trying to save them. And it's heartbreaking to us. It's mind blowing to us that they would take down a building, a historic building, or, like you say,
Mhm.
raise a historic place. Like it's not okay to us. So anything we can do to help, let us know.
You know,
I
so
appreciate it.
it's
But,
Of course.
I see that they're going to get rid of a huge portion of Pinhurst.
Yes, I did see that.
And, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I
It's
hope and
to
I
us, it's
pray that before they do anything with that land, I hope and I pray that they have somebody come out, do a blessing, do a prayer, do something to help some of those tortured spirits that are there maybe find their way home.
yeah.
It's just heartbreaking what they're going to do.
I just saw that today. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read the full details on it, but from what I understand, it's basically nothing going to be left of Pinhurst. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't read the details. I just got a glimpse of it before I had to set up and start getting ready for this. So I'm hoping that that's not going to be the case, but there's no telling. The way that
Yes.
the way that our governments now do, if it doesn't make them money, they don't care about it. History
Yeah.
doesn't make money.
No,
Um,
we don't.
the dead don't make money. The
Right.
dead don't pay property taxes.
Right.
Mhm. It- it's like anything to do with history now too. They don't have to leave their computer. They got all kind of virtual stuff, and it's they just all they gotta do is type it on the computer and they can see anywhere in the world.
Oh,
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? If they want to see your
right.
property, all they gotta do is Google Earth, and then they find other programs they
Yeah.
can zoom right down on whatever you're talking about from the cemeteries, wherever. It's so that's what's happening. Nobody wants to actually physically do these things anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, they don't want to get
But it's
out
not
and
the
walk the
same.
battlefield.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, somebody, I think it was Mary Beth actually, that commented that I was a empath. Yes, I am.
Yes.
And it is not the same. I can look like you're talking about, Anthony. I can look at any location I want to
Mhm.
on this big screen I have in front of me, but it does me no good. I don't get that same vibe. I don't get that same feeling. I don't get spirit walking up to me and going, "Hey, right
Right.
here."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're right with that.
Whereas if I get to go out and I get to go walk that battlefield or I get to go walk that historic location, um, I get those interactions. But there's so many people that if they're not in their recliner, they don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Or if it isn't right here and they can't go, oh yeah, look at
Yeah.
that. They,
Yeah.
they don't care.
Exactly. It's
I
a
Um,
agree.
different world out there from when we were growing up, where we grew up with believing in history. See, I wasn't never
Yeah.
into history until I got to the paranormal. And when I started getting into paranormal, you start to get to these old buildings and like, hey, well, that's pretty cool. And then you
Right.
start following it. A lot of these people now are just watching shows. They're not going out physically doing these things anymore, you know. And there's not too many historians out there because I know when my kids were going to school, they weren't teaching them history. They were teaching them what's going on now,
yeah,
at the moment.
Right.
But you got to understand, if you don't learn the history could repeat itself. That's where you learn the history, so you don't
Sure.
repeat. But as you can see, everything's being repeated again,
oh,
over
it
and
Yeah.
over.
is.
You
Yeah.
know,
So you asked me earlier, Jenny, what got me into the paranormal? Was it the history?
Right.
Was it um, my
Like
senior
what
year
came
in high
first?
school? Yeah, my,
Yeah.
like the paranormal actually came first, but my senior year in high school, Scott Hall was my history sociology teacher, and he was so cool in the way that he did it that I actually had thoughts of becoming a history teacher.
I love it.
But I had already signed up for a delayed entry program to go take my oath and go into the Army the day I turned 18. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm already committed to that. Maybe along the path I'll pick this up, but it never transpired. Um, yeah, but that was, so it's always been a history and passion in the history, and the paranormal just became a bonus, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you said you're a medium, correct? And you're an empath like that. But I think the thing with these buildings and history that for me, I'm not a sensitive. I'm not sensitive whatsoever. I'm not a medium, but I relish being able to stand in the place of these people, like to actually stand at a hearth where people cook, to stand in a battlefield where people fought. I feel like it does make a difference. Like, Anthony's saying you can look at it on, just watch a YouTube video about it. It's not the same, even for non-sensitive people. It's not the same as standing in that building,
Yeah.
and imagining what it was like when it was a busy hotel in the 1800s, or when it was a colonial cabin. Like, it really isn't the same. And I think we need to step into history physically like that
Yeah.
to really experience it.
To appreciate it.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just think you need to be there is what I'm
Oh, it
trying to say.
does.
You actually got to be there.
It
That was
does.
my point.
You can't get wet staring at a picture of the ocean. You can't
Exactly. That's
feel
what
the
I'm trying to
calming
say. It
energy of the
matters to
ocean
be
if you're
there.
not there.
Yeah.
Right. And
So my team
it's
works
a
very
privilege.
closely with a location not far from me called Pamplin Historical Park.
Mhm.
And we do 3 fundraisers a year for them. But it's 424-acre battlefield site.
Wow.
Oh, that's
They
huge.
have a huge museum that has thousands of artifacts. They have some of the best preserved earthworks on the northern hemisphere. They have a couple of pre-Civil War homes that Union or Confederate took over during the battles right there on that land. And we get to go in and we get to do investigations right where those men stood. And,
Right.
looking at this screen, I can't get an EVP like I got standing at that piece of earthwork. I had a recorder in hand, 3 other men standing around me, and I made this statement, "Gentlemen, do you know you're no longer soldiers? The war is over. You can go home." And what sounds like a young man standing right beside me was plain as day says, "Are we dead?"
Oh,
And shook me to my core. But it was a class A response of, "Are we dead?"
Oh, wow.
And the,
isn't that always like those EVPs always get to me? I've gotten ones that say, "I'm dead." Like we've gotten funny ones that say, "Hey, I'm dead." But I
we
don't live
got
very far.
I'm naked once in the cabin.
I'm naked. I'm dead. Yeah, that's.
Mhm.
But then sometimes you get, what am I? Kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it's interesting to me that some people know they are, and some people don't know they are. Um, you have to be open all the time. You always say that.
Yeah,
You know.
it's kind of that oh crap moment where, oh, I let
Yeah.
the cat out of the bag on that one.
No, I mean you can't make assumptions ever. You
Mm.
know. So you talked about EVPs a lot tonight. Are like I'm wearing a shirt that says "I hear dead people." It's my
Mm-hmm.
favorite thing. What's your thing in terms of? I know you're a medium and empath, but in terms of equipment, what do you rely upon the most?
EVPs,
Definitely
EVPs
recorder.
every
Okay.
day.
Mhm.
See, I knew I liked you.
I've got,
My favorite.
I bet without even struggling to prove it, I have 20 recorders in my gear case.
I have like 10. I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
Anthony's a camera guy, and I'm a
I like the
recorder
video.
girl. So
yeah,
we go together.
I get
yeah,
both best of both worlds, video and audio. That's why I like
Yeah.
my.
Okay.
got my night vision. I go into dark areas where I can't see, and I get both best of both worlds.
And you get
Yeah.
EVPs and pictures, but I don't know. I just love my recorders, so I
Martha,
love
you
them.
have more than that,
Everybody
Dennis.
connects. Like, I really
Probably.
think that you connect to your equipment. We have our other host, Kimm, who's a busy veterinarian tonight. She loves her meter, and she's a medium, and she just carries a meter, nothing else ever. She and her meter. So it's whatever you connect to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But I like the EVP because of the personal interaction that you can have with it.
Hmm.
You know, whether it's an EVP captured on your video camera or an EVP captured on one of my recorders, that is as personal as you can get.
Yes,
When
I agree.
when
I
I
agree.
captured that beautiful little female voice saying, "I'm with you." No other piece of gear, every single piece of equipment I own could have lit up and it wouldn't have meant nearly as much to me
Right.
as hearing that little girl's voice mimic my words back to me.
Right.
You don't
Not
need
even
to
a picture
understand,
of
sweet.
her would mean as much as her in her own words,
Right.
hearing her
And
voice. I
and
agree
What
completely.
was
That's
that?
why I love
So,
it.
that
what
was
was?
my phone. Siri, for some reason, decided to talk to me.
Well,
Oh,
that's so
it's like,
funny.
that's
Said I
funny.
don't understand. I'm
That
like, I
happens to
didn't
me all the
talk to
time
you.
because I think I have a funny accent or something.
I don't mind it till it's the middle of the damn night and that thing's sitting in the stand
Right? Yeah.
Hmm.
and
Well,
I'm
Yeah.
asleep.
Have you lived in a haunted location, Dennis?
I'm in one now.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
So
So this
what
home,
happens
go
here?
ahead.
No,
So this
I
home
love
was
talking
built
to
in
people in locations.
1935. Um,
Uh-huh.
when we were first looking to buy another home, our realtor kept showing us things that just weren't what we were after. We knew that my mother-in-law was going to move in with us, so I needed space for that.
Yep.
Um, yeah, Mary Beth, we all have. Um,
Yeah.
but she was showing us things that just wouldn't suffice. So I happen to get on realtor.com and I see a picture of the front of this house and I'm like, oh, I love that. And then I start looking at the interior pictures and I see uh, you can see the molding behind me, how
Yep.
big that molding is. And I'm
hmm
like, and when you get to the top of the steps, there's one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 doors right there. And all that molding is right there.
Lovely. Yep.
And then I pulled around to the back side of it. I'm right on a corner. So I pulled to the back side and I look at the back of the house and it has a walkout slab from the basement and then 2 big decks on the back of it. And I'm like, I'm home.
Yeah.
And then as I'm looking, I see on the far side of the yard, there's a huge magnolia tree. And I just see what looks like a soldier that leans out like this and leans right back in. I went, oh, well, shit, we're home.
A
There's no
soldier.
doubt in my mind this is home. Yeah, it turns
Wow.
out my property was a Union encampment.
Oh,
Um, so while I'm just kind of walking around looking at the house, and it has a full walk-through basement, first and second floor, and then a full walk-through attic. So it has the little witches' windows up in the gables
Right.
and the
Hmm.
roof ends. And I just happen to see this older woman's face looking out at me, and I'm like, yep, we're home. I've done
Wow.
this long enough. I don't care.
yeah.
So
Right. But you
here we
also
are
can
with
sense
our
the
little ghosted
friendliness.
friends. Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But if it's good or yeah, like good old woman or not good old woman.
right.
Yeah.
Well, while we're walking through the house, I'm noticing changes that have been done. And I'm hearing her in the back of my head going, I don't like that. That needs to change. So I'm telling my wife what we need to change as far as the trim or the doors or whatever else. Then we find out that in the house are the original
Right.
1935 blueprints, the original architectural drawings, the uh, penciled renderings of what the house is going to look like and everything else. And I'm like, okay, so everything that she's telling me, she wants it right back like it was in 1935. So then I did research on the home. It turns out that Mr. and Mrs. Van Benthuizen, who built the home, this was known as Van Benthuizen Manor. Not far from us is historic St. John's Church. Goes back to the late 1800s. And I'm finding news articles for a wedding of Mr. and Ms. So-and-so will be held at such and such with a reception to follow at Van Benthuizen Manor. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to be just fine. We're going to be real good. I just thought it was really cool. And then I start doing research on Civil War. And looking from where I'm sitting right now, 500 feet maybe across that direction is the remnants of a fort. It was a Union fort. That intersection, 1.5 yards away from me, is Fort Street. Back this way, maybe a block, is the Appomattox River. And just off to my northeast, half mile, is a place called Appomattox Manor at City Point. Well, that was Grant's headquarters for 9 months during the siege at Petersburg. It was the largest, most active port during the Civil War in the world. It was a 1.5 mile long port. And I'm like,
Whoa.
I couldn't have picked a better place to call home.
Yeah. I mean,
Just,
you must have been like mind blown when you
oh
found that
yeah.
out. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
that's a
flipping
biggie.
through I'm flipping through maps and I'm going, holy shit, that's home. All
Yeah.
of that's around me. I'm like, this is
Pretty cool.
amazing.
Pretty cool.
So, it's just, as a history nerd, yes, Mary Beth, the train tracks were about 600 feet straight out from my front door, but they came back from my northeast. They ran south for a little ways, and then they turned and came across to go from City Point to this fort over here. Then, ironically, they went all the way down, and they fed the troops, the Union troops, that later attacked the Confederates that were encamped and entrenched where Pamplin Historical Park is.
Oh.
So that was just mind blowing that, and when we moved here, I had already done like 2 years or 3 years of events at Pamplin Park and fundraising for them. And then they have like this 15-foot by 15-foot 3D relief map. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, I am right here. Hey, there's some railroad tracks. Where do those go? Here. I'm like,
Wow.
holy shit.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
it's
this is
like
all
just
post, like you were going to buy it anyway. And then all this good
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, just finding
Came up.
all of that out was just
Yeah.
insane.
That is pretty cool.
I want to ask you: are you going to be at the Hanover Tavern this year, the next year for the Paracon?
Most likely.
Okay.
We stopped in this year. I didn't get a booth in time, but I did come up and I said hello to a lot of people.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's a good likelihood that I'm going to set up a booth this year at Hanover Paracon.
Yeah, we're going to probably be there also.
Yeah,
So,
well, Steve, who organizes that, Steve
yeah.
Dills,
Yeah, we know.
worked with us for quite a while. He's done the cabin numerous times.
Hmm.
And then when his team got back up and running, they were on life, got in the way and kind of broke his team apart for a while, which we've all encountered that. And then
Of
once
course.
everybody kind of got everything back together, they got up and running again. But in that downtime, he worked with us pretty hand in hand, and we backed them up. He backed us up.
Yeah,
Um, it's, and that's the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to help each other
that's right.
in this field.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, we had Steve
the,
on the on our podcast.
Yes, we have.
We had Steve,
And we know him in person as well.
yeah,
yeah.
and
He's
we had him
great.
on the pod, and some great evidence too. And we also
Yeah.
had Haunted Richmond. They do the
Yeah.
tours.
Hmm.
We had them on also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty sweet. I keep their posters up in the cabin. Um, for the ghost tours that they do downtown in Shockoe Bottom and so forth are just fantastic.
Mhm.
They do a wonderful job. But that's something that we're supposed to do is as a community,
Mhm.
we're supposed to help other locations.
Totally.
Yeah.
When we didn't have a lease and Ryan's family just allowed us to do our thing at the cabin, we were able to make donations to other locations like Hanover Tavern. We've made
Right.
donations to Pamplin. We've made donations
Mhm.
to. I've got another place here in town called Henricus Historical Park, and it's fantastic. It dates back to 1611. It's the second successful settlement. Now you want to talk
Wow.
crazy? I've
1611. I never did it
Yeah.
that
1611.
old.
When Jamestown was failing, which Jamestown settled in 1607, it was
Hmm.
failing. There are reports of cannibalistic acts. Um, Attrition rate there was just horrific. So they sent Sir Thomas Dale up the James River, go find us a place we can thrive. So he finds this point on the James River and says, this will now become the city of Enriquez. So they established there. There are, I believe it's 11 acres now, and it's a living history museum.
Oh, that's
Chesterfield
cool.
County Parks and Rec and the Henricus Historical Foundation set it up, and they have the English side, and then they have a dividing fence, and they have the native side, and they tell the story of both. Um,
Oh, interesting. I've
but
never seen that before. I've never seen that approach before. That's
it
cool.
it is really cool. It's similar to what Jamestown does.
Yes.
But
Okay.
if you look them up, it's henricushistoricalpark.org.
Okay. Oh,
Fantastic
wow.
location.
Yeah.
Um, John Pagano is, I'm not sure exactly what his title is. I think he's like historical director or something like that.
That's
But
really cool.
if you want to know history in this area, John is the cat. I mean, he's
Jennie,
got
write down
his
his
shit
name.
together. Um,
Write down his name.
it's John Pagano,
Yeah.
Pagano. Fantastic to talk to. But we did several events out there. We were probably, I don't know, $18,000 or so in donations to that park just to help them keep
Wow.
running. Um, with my with my team, which is Commonwealth Researchers of the Paranormal, Fredericksburg Paranormal Researchers (FPRI), um, Pandora's Peregrination, Booze Paranormal, just a bunch of us that all get together to help run these big events for locations like that.
Mhm.
Um, with Pamplin Park, we're pushing $20,000 in total donations.
Holy
It's
cow.
just
Wow.
wonderful to be able to do
That's
that
amazing.
Mhm.
and help these locations. But that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
Yes.
We're supposed to be saving, garnering, protecting history. And I think it,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I think it's wonderful that so many people are stepping up and donating to the Conjuring House. I think it was done in such a huge rush that all the details aren't worked out. Now you've got this huge
Right.
lump of money, and I can see, for lack of better terms, I can see a pissing contest in the future. And I pray that the location and the paranormal field as a whole aren't the ones that get wet from it.
Mhm.
But I think it's wonderful that the paranormal community as a whole is trying to save
Yeah.
that location. I'd love to see them step up and help us save the cabin.
I
Yeah.
agree.
But as long as something's being done that keeps it safe, I'm all good with it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. That's your mission here. It's not
Right.
control. It's help. And
Yeah.
how so if we wanted to, come investigate the cabin, how do we do that?
So we have a website that
I'm just
Um,
going to put it in the chat.
it's kind of funny because I hired a team to do it. Oh, it won't let me do it in here. I guess I have to do it
Oh,
on
I
the
see.
other
You're
side.
putting it in the
CO.
chat. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. I was just going to do that. Okay.
TCO360.com.
TCO360.com. Okay.
But there is a booking site, booking page there, and it gives you a calendar. You use the pull down at the top if you want a Sunday through Friday, or if you want a Saturday date. It's $350 for Sunday through Friday, 400 for Saturday. Thanks, Master Player. We appreciate it.
That's really
Uh,
very reasonable, by the way.
yeah, and that gets you both locations, 7 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Yep.
Um,
That's it.
both
TC.
both of them have heat and air. Both of them are fully functional.
I
So,
love it.
Okay.
but yeah, you book it. I recommend, and it's not just a money grab. I recommend 2 nights simply because if the log cabin is active, odds are slim you're going to make it out of there and get to the Brick Rancher or get to the woods.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
there's a lot of area to cover. So I mean, we had I don't know if you guys know who he is or not, but Frank Lazaro from New Jersey Rope brought his
Yeah.
team down.
I know him. Frank.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
sweet guy. But
He is
19
so
members of
good.
New Jersey Rope came down.
Yeah.
19. They booked it for the full weekend.
He is a
And
huge team.
yeah,
Huge
19.
team.
yeah,
His team is massive, Anthony. He's got like this massive team and they're all active and they've got they learn. They have like sessions where they have learning and they're amazing. They do like classes. John is such a good guy. I'm sorry, Frank, excuse me, is such a good
Frank.
guy. I was
Yeah,
reading, sorry. Frank is such a
he's
good guy.
wonderful to work with. But
I
they
agree.
came down and he's like, dude, this place is crazy. He's like,
Yeah,
we're going to have to do it again because we spent so much time in the Brick Rancher. We
right.
didn't get a whole
And
lot of time in the other areas because we were so drawn by the activity over here. And I'm like,
yeah, I can see that
that's
even in
kind
the
of
videos
common.
I watch on YouTube of
So
it, that
how
you
big are
really
these
need to.
locations? How big are these locations to bring people to? So if we
Um,
book it,
we,
how many people can we, you know,
in
get
the
Right.
in?
Like, what
grand,
would you recommend if we decided to investigate and we're bringing people with us? Like, what do you think is a max?
I would say that 15 to 20 range is a max if you're going to do it for
Okay.
a full weekend. That you can
Okay.
spread out because I've got 6 areas in the woods that you can put groups at, and they're
Mhm.
far enough away that they're barely, if at all, going to interfere with the other groups. Then you can have a group in the rancher and a group in the brick log cabin.
Mhm.
Um, and depending on how well your teams work together, you can put 2 groups in either building and do just
Okay.
fine. We have hosted events with 50 guests.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's a wonderful location. It's
But
just,
let's say you had 10 people. Is that okay too to cover it?
oh,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, you just need the whole weekend to do it.
Oh, you would need the whole weekend with 10 people because the
Right. Okay.
activity, and again, it depends on the night. You've investigated enough that you know that
Mhm.
some nights this building just isn't going to do it. I mean,
Of course. Of course.
even Moundsville Correctional Facility
Yep.
can be flat some night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Everywhere.
but
Of
but
course.
if you go over to the infirmary, it's off the rails. But over in isolation, it's
Mhm.
flat. But on the next night, it's the opposite. Or over in the laundry is the crazy area.
Right.
So the cool
Yeah.
thing with the cabin is I've got the log cabin, I've got the brick rancher, and we've got um, this huge wooded area that's all battlefield that's all active as well.
Mhm.
So, and
That's
our
So
great.
rate,
can
You
we,
could really
if we
spread
have
out.
groups, can we stay at the location, or
yeah,
do we
you
have to get
sleep in the
hotel?
location, bring a cot, bring a sleeping bag, bring an air mattress.
So there's
I'm
Um,
telling
running
you right
water
now,
and bathrooms there.
I know Anthony's brain right now. He's going, we're
Yeah.
doing it. We're
when
doing
can
it.
we
With
make this happen?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
with bathrooms and you know, 'cause I like
He,
bathrooms.
I have I
I'll
have
just tell Matt,
shower.
14 years. I don't like doing anything out in the woods.
Yeah, there's no more camping in the
You know what I
woods.
mean?
Yeah,
I
but,
came home with too many
Whereas
ticks.
I would camp out in the woods. I think that's cool. I think that would be cool.
I came home
but
with too many ticks. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Look, just
You
because
know,
a
you
bear
go do
wiped,
something out in the woods, it's like, oh man,
No,
it
I
puts you in a
think that
location
would
you don't
make
want them.
this location would make a great Seekers Chronicles event.
I
Yeah.
concur. But look, just because the bear shits in the woods and wipes his butt with a cute fuzzy bunny doesn't mean I got to. I got bathrooms.
Yeah, that's true. I need
Anthony's
that.
like, amen.
Yeah.
I
Man,
love
there's
it.
some way we can make coffee.
Yeah, coffee.
There are
It's all
actually
about
2 coffee pots and a Keurig machine.
Oh my God, when can we go?
There's a
This is great.
refrigerator, microwave, 2 coffee pots, Keurig machine,
Cannoli.
snack bar. Yeah,
A snack
all of
bar.
this. Yeah.
We could bring our own cannolis down.
Yep.
I drink.
I
So
think
yeah,
sold.
it's
Yeah,
it is
and we have a
fully
drinking
set up.
game. We
Okay.
have a drinking game.
And now the way it is set up, that rate is good for up to 10 people. After
Okay.
10, it is $50 a person extra per night.
I figured. So that
Yeah.
that three, whatever you said, 400, that then on top of
350.
that per person
Yeah.
would be $50.
Right. So if you want to
I
come
assume
down
that,
with
but
20
good
people,
to say it.
yeah. And that covers all the extra electricity and so forth that you're going to
course.
run through.
No, it's very reasonable. It's very reasonable. We live in the New York City area. It's very expensive.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, there we go.
Yeah.
Like I said, Martha
Okay.
there is my my
I love
assistant,
it.
lead volunteer, and she comes in and helps clean and make sure everything's stocked, make sure that there's toilet paper and extra chocolates.
Oh
nice.
my goodness.
Snacks.
Thank you, Martha.
Don't worry. If we come down, we bring our own cannolis.
Oh yeah.
And
Queen.
now here's the cool thing. I've got a restaurant not far away. It's about 15 minutes out. It's called Game Day Grill. And if you show them that you are booked at the cabin, they give you a 20% food discount. And he's got some of the best damn
wow.
wings you can eat.
Oh, wings.
Uh-oh.
So
Andy has a 6.5 by 11-foot wall monitor. You want to watch
really?
the game? That's where to do it. 6.5
Okay, now
by
you're
11
talking.
foot.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Wow.
So we got
I
you
love
set.
We're hooked up.
I
So
mean,
we got to
sold.
talk. We got to talk.
Sold. Yeah, sold.
Next year,
I'm fascinated.
We're planning on
I
going some trips next year, and
Yep.
I think we're going to be stopping by. You know,
I agree.
definitely.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
here we
you,
go.
JB.
Jenny eats the grass. Yeah, I'm vegetarian, but I'm sure they have good stuff there that I can eat.
They have their salads are as huge, big as
There
your
you
head.
go.
I swear to God.
Salad.
Look, you got your salad. You got your bunny food.
He calls me bunny food. They all make fun of me.
Yeah.
Oh, Martha, she
So-
sounds lovely.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. But let me ask you,
Really?
are you vegetarian? Okay. So if the neighbor is
Yes.
growing his grass, does that make you hungry?
Yeah, trust me. Anthony once a day says, "Go eat the grass."
Gets one just to
Go
pick on you?
please. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
everybody in
I
the
love
audience knows. Every time we go to a diner after investigation, she's like, it's like she can't eat because we're eating cheeseburgers, all this,
He goes,
all
Jenny,
this
just go out and
heavy
graze.
stuff, and
Go eat the
it's like,
grass.
yeah, there's a lawn out front. It looks like it needs to be trimmed over there.
I eat pizza.
Cheese
French
pizza.
fries.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not vegan.
Yeah,
There you go.
It's not that. Thank you,
Yeah,
Dennis.
See, it's not that bad. It's not
wow,
that bad.
guys.
Anthony.
No.
It's almost a 2-hour mark.
Oh my
grief.
goodness. It is so
You
close.
talked all the
That went
time.
so fast.
Oh
Holy
boy,
cow, Dennis.
Dennis,
You are
thank you for
so
coming.
interesting.
We're gonna have to shut this down.
Yeah.
Now Bobby's gonna kick my butt.
Yeah,
So
thank
we've
you all
got the
so much for
website up.
having me.
We have the GoFundMe. We have the website. We're going to make plans. Oh, it was a joy to have you. Are you kidding? I
Yeah.
mean, history galore. That's what we love.
Oh boy, yeah, and I'm glad everybody got to in the audience. We had a lot
Yeah,
of people participating, and you
got to
know,
hear.
and
Catch us, catch the
Like
Cabin
Adam
on
said, went by
360 on
quick.
TikTok, um,
TikTok, okay.
Facebook page. I've got 2 TikToks um, going at this point. Got the Facebook page. You can find me personally, just Dennis Haslock, as you see it on the screen. Find the
Yep.
Cabin on 360. Give us a like, give us a follow, and subscribe. That will get you some special treats as a subscriber. I have a game night coming that only a subscriber pool is eligible to attend with us live at the cabin on a Thursday night to come out and hang
I'm
out
doing
with
it.
us. And we're going to play a game.
awesome. That's
All
awesome.
right.
And the subscription's 99 cents a month. I mean, come on.
You
That's
can't
not
beat
good.
that, guys.
No, even I could afford that.
Yeah. Come on. Come on.
So we do have to end it now.
Oh,
It's after the 2 hour mark. So,
well,
like I said,
thank
Dennis,
you.
thank you for coming.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you here. And everybody, look into the GoFundMe, and hopefully you'll be able to donate some money to that.
Yes,
This
anything.
looks like a great location to. We got to save it. Definitely, we got to save it. So go out there and see what you could, whatever you could donate. Like I said, I want to thank you, Dennis, for here. I want to thank the audience for showing up and participating tonight. It was a great show. Um, and I just want to make sure everybody knows when you go out there investigating, you got to be safe because you want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost. Good night. Ciao, familia.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Forget
Bye,
about it.
everybody.
Hey, how you doing?